Bul Armory just made the already incredibly popular Ultralight even better with the Pro version. So let's get right into the first 30-second breakdown. That's where in the first 30 seconds, give or take, I give you guys my exact thoughts on this product before we get into the full review. That way you can just stop watching because now you know exactly what I think about it, or continue watching, find out why I say these things in greater detail, and it does help out with the algorithm, and I appreciate that. I'm just gonna start out by saying this is on track to being my favorite gun of 2025. Really well made by Bul Armory. I have shot a lot of Bul Armory guns. This is the very first one I've ever owned. This has really nice slide serration. It has the V6 port up front, which is the big difference with the Pro version, getting that port, which allows this to be a little less snappy and just makes it more controllable, which is great because the trigger is really nice and this gun just makes you want to burn it down and shoot bill drills all day long. It just keeps everything on target a little bit easier with that. It has a polymer frame, which helps with that ultra lightness of this gun. You have a bobbed hammer, a chopped beaver tail, ambidextrous safety, double undercut here to be able to get a higher grip, and one of the better grip textures on the market. Comes with the option to be able to add your mag well. It comes in the package. You don't have to put it on there if you want to, but it is nice that they add that in the box. Comes with 3 standard capacity magazines, which is one of the cool things that Bul Armory does that a lot of these companies aren't doing that we really wish they would, is adding that extra mag that everyone just goes and buys anyway. They throw that right in the package. One thing you're gonna notice right off the rip is gonna be it does not have any backup iron sights. And this is gonna be one of those things that's gonna hold people back a little bit that are really, really into having that backup iron sight. Now, what I'll say is all these red dots nowadays come with the backup iron sight integrated there, so you're gonna still get that. But if you're the type that's really worried and likes to have contingencies for your contingencies, then this might not be the gun for you. It does come with the actual backup iron sights if you don't even want to put a red dot on here, which is really cool, and I'll show you some videos of with and without. It's cut down here, which has a really unique look, but again, they're going for that ultra light look and feel of this gun, and they did a really good job with that, making this incredibly light for concealed carry. But those of you that really want that 2011, really when you're looking at 2011 to this size and concealed carry, usually you're just like, okay, it's gonna be kind of heavy. My pants are maybe gonna sag down a little bit. Not at all something I can carry with shorts. But with this gun, this thing is shockingly lightweight, and I love that because who doesn't want to carry a gun that looks this good? That bobbed hammer is going to be another thing we're going to talk about a little bit later, more detail, but it will be something that's going to turn some people off because they really like to carry with one in the chamber and the hammer down. This is designed to carry one in the chamber, locked, cocked, with your safety on. There's no safety concerns with that. This is how a lot of people carry, and this is how this gun is designed. It's just going to be a personal preference if you're okay with that personally or not. So we're going to dive deeper into this a little bit later. Let's get right into my relationship with Bul Armory. They did send me this gun. I did not spend my own money on it. Let's get into the companies that are incredibly helpful for things that we do. Stopbox and Vertex. Firearm safety is incredibly important to me. That's why I love this device and why I built this vault room with hold display. I want to be able to keep my tools and items away from little hands that like my children or anyone else I don't want to touch them, but still have access to this quickly if needed. You press in this combination, you're able to open this, get access to it, but know that your kids will not be able to get into that, and that's why that's so important to me. And then Vertex, you can use code Tactical Advisor. That's going to save you 15% on their backpacks and their clothing. Been wearing and using their stuff for over 5 years and I absolutely love it. Show both these guys some love, and let's get right back into this video. So let's dive deeper into this gun, and this is gonna be one of those reviews that you're gonna look at me and be like, okay, you're getting paid by these guys to say that. And it's because this gun is really nice, and there's a reason there's so many really solid reviews on Bul Armory guns. It's because they're really freaking good guns. These things shoot incredibly well. They're fun to shoot. They're not horribly expensive when you're looking at comparing it to other 2011s. Yes, 2011s in general just are a lot of money, but when it comes to the fact that you compare it and what you get out of the package, this is a more affordable option. And that reliability is a big thing as well. Let's just drive right into that. So this is a 1,000 round review, and this is probably the quickest I've ever got a gun to 1,000 rounds. Mainly because this gun is just so shootable. There's some guns you just want to go out and shoot, and this is one of those, and it's really hard not to shoot like 5 to 10 rounds at a time. You know, there's some guns that you can go and you can shoot slowly and take your time. This is not one of those guns, man. You start shooting with it and you just get carried away. You burn through all your rounds. So reliability wise, this gun shot 100% reliable, and that is what we are talking about. That's what we're looking for, man. And that's what I was hoping for. When I got in this gun, I saw it. I was like, oh man, it's smooth. It looks incredible. I was like, please make this thing reliable because I want to carry this gun. And this is going to be going into a concealed carry roll. I have a QVO holster that I'm rocking with this, and I did a lot of the testing with. And I am so happy to say this did not have any malfunctions with any of the ammo we were using. Now, there is certain ammo, I'm going to put it in here, that they recommend not shooting because of the ports. It caused some accuracy issues, so just make sure you're aware of that. But I was shooting all sorts of ammo through this thing because I really wanted to put this through its paces. I only lubed it 2 times during that 1,000 rounds too, because I really wanted to put it kind of under some stress. And I do need to do a deep clean on this thing because, as you can tell, has been pretty dirty from that port, which is what you're going to get with the port. Is obviously a downside for those of you that really like clean guns. You're not going to get a clean gun when you have something like this. You have to clean it a little extra with that V6 up front. Now, let's go to bottom to top and just go over all the little features and what this gun is going to offer you out of the package. So you get a mag well as an option. For those of you that really want deep concealment, just don't put it on there. It comes without it. I just threw it on there because I do like the ability to have a little extra. And it's an EDC style mag well. It's not as flared like your competition shooters. So obviously you're going to get a little bit more of a footprint when you're concealed carrying, but not as much, and you get that obviously added benefit of making reloads a lot easier. That is going to be a personal decision, but it's cool to see they add that in the box. What you're going to notice with a lot of what I'm saying here is Bul Armory listens to their customers, and they're like, okay, we're seeing what people are buying, and then they just put it in the package for you when you buy the gun. That way you don't have to buy extra things. That's why they have 3 magazines instead of 2. You know, a lot of these brands are only putting 2 in there. You have to go out and spend $50 to $100 on some of these ridiculously expensive magazines. In this way, for those of you that 3 is good enough, you don't have to buy anything extra and you're good to go. The grip texture, man, this is good. They did a really good job with this. You've just got some dot texture there on the front and the back, but the sides is really, really nice because a gun like this that's going to be primarily used for conceal, you want to make sure you have good texturing, but you can't go too aggressive with it. You can't go like a competition aggressive. It's going to be really uncomfortable for those that want to conceal carry this. This just plays that line so perfectly, and I'm really happy with the texturing they chose with that, and I think they did a good job with that grip. The grip size is good. I have medium-sized hands. They're not huge, but with that double undercut, you're able to get your grip a little bit higher, and it rests nicely on that mag well, so my hand fits almost perfect on this gun, and I like that. You've got the chopped beaver tail, so it's not sticking out so much, and you've got the bobbed hammer. That's gonna be kind of a question for a lot of people, and I know initially people are gonna look at that and be turned off. They're gonna be like, I love the look of it. Like, it's really cool when the hammer's down like that. Obviously see how that's completely sleek and really, really low profile. And when you have it cocked, it's small and not in the way. And with that cut, it's not gonna pinch your thumb, which is a nice feature, but you're not able to decock this for those of you that really like carrying one in the chamber decocked. This gun is designed to be carried one in the chamber cocked with that safety up. There's nothing wrong with that. There's people that do that, there's people that don't. That's gonna be a personal preference. If you're the type that thinks, I have to have that hammer down, I cannot comfortably carry, this gun just isn't for you, that or you can replace that hammer. But that is something that I wanted to note for those of you that are a little bit worried, or people maybe that just don't know, that are on the fence, like, that's weird, why is that different? What is the difference? It's just designed to be carried like that. So as long as you're comfortable with that, it's a really nice feature because it's just a little bit smaller. It does not change the weight or anything with it. It's all the same. They still spec'd it out the same way, which is nice, but something to note. You have your ambidextrous safety, which is your traditional. So if you're used to drawing and pulling down and shooting, you're good to go. You have your slide stop, and like your traditional 2011s, 1911s, you cannot manipulate this with one hand. You either have to break your grip significantly to get to that or bring up your left hand. There's only one gun of this 2011 like style, and that's right there, the XP Pro from Fusion Firearms, that I'm able to actually use and manipulate that way, and that thing's pretty cool. It uses Glock mags, which is pretty neat. Link here if you guys are interested in watching that. But you do have to use that other hand or break your grip if you want to get to that. Now going to your trigger, this is a polymer trigger, and it is very smooth, very predictable, good reset. And everyone likes that view, but very happy with the trigger, and it's very easy to shoot up follow-up shots. That slide, man, they did a great job with the slide serrations on this, making them deep enough to actually be able to manipulate that gun whatever way you want to, whether you want to be tactical and manipulate for the bottom or top, or you just want to slide rack it the normal way. Completely up to you, but they did a really good job of making these not only look great and make that look really aggressive, but they also made them very usable, nicely aggressive without being too aggressive where it's taking skin off or anything crazy like that. You have that cut here at the slide where they have a couple slots there just for weight reduction, taking off as much as you can without obviously causing problems. And then back here, another controversy part here where you don't have a backup iron sight. And the reason they did that is because all these new red dots have the backup iron sight integrated into the red dot itself. So In theory, the screws that you're putting in your iron sight to put on here are the exact same screws you're putting on your red dot. So if the screws are gonna shear, it will take both of them. But I know some people wish that they were just a solid backup sight or slid in there, kind of like this one there, your traditional 1911. But that's just another thing. If that is a necessity where you're like, I have to have backup iron sights and the ones here on the red dot aren't good enough, then this gun just probably isn't for you, and that's okay. And that's the point of these videos and these reviews, for me to be able to go out and test these and bring these things up for you to help you make a better purchase decision later down the road or whenever you decide to do that. But I think it's a cool design in the sense that they're really trying to make it as basic as possible. They don't need to add things like iron sights and have 2 sets of backup iron sights. One thing you're gonna notice is the front sight post. That is not the same as the ultralight version. They use a fiber optic. The reason they took that off is because of the ports. It's gonna melt it, it's gonna ruin it. And those of you that actually shoot your guns and train with your guns, you're not gonna enjoy that for very long. So they just put the post up there, and it's very basic, but it is usable enough if you need to use it. But for those of you that want to, you can replace it and just replace your fiber optics over and over and over, or if you don't like shooting your gun and you just wanna have it for looks, you can throw it on there as well. You can get it from their website. O-sight, that is what's on this gun. A lot of people are gonna look at that and be like, you went with an O-sight on this? I tell you what, I really wanted to test this optic because I got their version where you put the battery cap on top, and I wasn't sold on that. I didn't really love that whole concept, but they just came out with a new one with the battery tray on the side, and I thought to myself, I need to really put this optic to the paces, and I knew I was gonna put a ton of rounds through this gun, so I threw it on here, and that's where it's living right now. Is it gonna stay? Maybe, maybe not. That'll decide after I fully tested that and done the review on that one, but for right now, I'm gonna throw it on there. Looks nice. They did a good job looks-wise. It's very basic, simple, but it looks good on the gun itself. Then we got the TLR7X from Streamlight. I think that is basically the perfect setup. You got a red dot and a nice flashlight on a gun like this. What else can you ask for? Rock that solid QVL holster and you're good to go. Mags, like I said, it comes with a 3 standard, but it also fits all your other Bul Armory magazines. So you can rock the ones that you already have if you have a lot of Bul Armories and use them in that one, and you're gonna add them quickly because coming with 3 instead of 2 is a nice addition. Now, one weird thing that did happen, one of the mags, when it was inserted into the gun with rounds in it, it would rattle a little bit. I have a video here I'll show you in just a second. When I took it out of the gun, it wouldn't rattle, but when you put it in, it must have put a little pressure on that to allow it to rattle. Was that because of one of the rounds was like out of spec maybe in making it rattle, or was that because there's like a very specific amount of rounds, like you know with like Glock mags, when it gets to a certain amount, it rattles, and like you either take one out, you put one in, and it fixes the problem. But it only happened when it was inserted into the gun. Have not had that problem again. I've done a lot of testing with it. I just noticed though when I was walking, it was rattling. I was like, what was that? I started shaking it, and then I took it out, it fixed it. I share that video with you just so you can make your own decision on it, but I wanted to be as transparent as possible with you and all of my content to allow you to make your own decision. That's always my goal, to help you guys spend your money in the best way possible. That way you can be confident either buying or maybe holding off on something that you don't necessarily want and not wasting your money. So all in all, what are my thoughts on this gun? This is a very, very good gun. I'm incredibly happy with it. And again, like I said at the beginning of the review, this is probably gonna be a high contender for my favorite gun of 2025. And right now, it's probably sitting at 1. You know, there's a lot of year left. There's a lot of innovation still to come. We still got more guns we can throw ports and comps on like everybody's doing. Really happy with what Bul Armor is doing. I think them as a company really listen to their customers, and I think that's important. And that's when you start getting guns that actually have features that people want and come with things like 3 mags and extra things like mag wells and just stuff that people want to not make them spend more money. But you're probably gonna be seeing some more Bul Armories on the channel here soon, because now that I've got this one, man, I want to shoot them all. I want to test them all. I have shot them for a while at a lot of events, and they've always really impressed me. And every time I go to an event, everyone tells me, like, go to Bul Armory, go to Bul Armory, go to their booth. You got to try their guns, and there's a reason for that. So if you ever get a chance, make sure you guys shoot one of these and take a look at the Ultralight Pro. You're going to be impressed. If you're looking to help out the channel, there's a lot of ways to do that. Going to my website, tacticalvisor.net, signing up for my email list. We're going to be doing a lot of blasts here soon that are going to be incredibly helpful. Be patient with me on those. We're trying to get that whole process built out. Checking out Howitzer Clothing. They donate 5% proceeds to charity, and they have a Tactical Visor shirt, which is really cool, and I'd love for you guys to try that out. If you guys haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe if you enjoy the content. We're really close to 300,000, and I'm so excited to get to that milestone. So I'm super excited about that, and I appreciate you all that have been here for either a month, 2 years, 7 years when we all started this. It's really exciting to see the growth of this channel, and it's all due to you guys, and I appreciate that. I always like to end on a Bible verse. I find it really important. This is Mark 2:5. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Son, your sins are forgiven you." And when it comes to your relationship with God, there's just a portion that just comes down to faith alone. I could sit here and tell you about the Bible, you can study, you can read, but there's still always gonna be a portion of that you're just gonna have to have faith. And it is incredibly important to understand that, and God really rewards those that have that faith, that don't have to see the doubting Thomas type thing. I would love to sit here and tell you the words to express and explain that faith, but I can't. There's a point in religion, in my relationship with God, that sometimes it sounds a little crazy, but that's where that faith comes into play. And I have faith in God, in that relationship, and it just works. And I would love to help grow your relationship, to get to that point, to have that faith. And if you have any questions, I'd love to get you resources to get yourself there. I'd love for you to reach out if you have any questions. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you.